Rainbows. Do you love when you are driving in the car, maybe early in the morning and the sun's coming up and maybe we just had a little bit of rain and you look out of your car window and you notice a rainbow? When you see one, do you get excited and show your family, like, look, mom, or to your brother, your dad, look, I see a rainbow? We do in our family. And I remember as a little girl even being so excited when I see a rainbow or when I saw one when I was younger. It's beautiful and it's so fun to learn about them. And in Bible this week, we're going to be learning why rainbows are important to God and to man. What a great reminder that I think of whenever I see a rainbow. And it reminds me of a promise that God made to his people. And I love seeing it because I love remembering the promises of the Lord. So, what is a rainbow? How is a rainbow made? And did you know some facts about a rainbow? Did you know that a rainbow is actually a full circle? We only see a part of it, the arch of it, but it really is a full circle. Do you know that the rainbow has colors in a certain order? They do. And did you know that you can do a fun experiment and make a rainbow? Let's go ahead and watch a video on a science, kind of like a science video. But you know what? These rainbows are made by God. And God's, because of the creation, the sun and the water, we can study rainbows. And so, again, all truth is God's truth. And when we see a rainbow, it could bring us right back to the Word of God. And that's what we're going to study today and this week. But I want you to watch a video about what is a rainbow.
Hi, Doug.
Hi, Joseph.
I have a question for you. How are rainbows made?
That's a great question. Normally, the sky outside doesn't have that many colors, just blue or gray like when it's dark and cloudy. But then, sometimes, a rainbow comes out. It's such a special thing when you get to see a rainbow. People even know the colors of the rainbow by heart. You've got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Scientists call it violet. But where do rainbow colors come from? How are rainbows made? Do you have any ideas? For a long time, no one had a very good idea about where rainbows come from and how they get all those colors. Rainbows aren't like most colorful things, like things you can reach out and touch. For example, think about a red chair or a green frog. Those things get their colors from what they're made of. A red chair has red paint on it, and a frog has green skin. But a rainbow is different. It's not a thing you can reach out and touch. It doesn't contain colored stuff like a chair or a frog has. Instead, it's something that floats there like a big arc in the sky. And rainbows don't just stay there either. Not long after they appear, they start to disappear. It's really very puzzling what a rainbow's colors are made of, or where a rainbow comes from. The first big clue about how rainbows are made actually didn't come from rainbows in the sky. It had to do with rainbow colors from pieces of glass. For a long time, people had noticed that glass pieces, especially ones with flat sides on them, would sparkle with rainbow colors when placed in sunlight. Scientists noticed that one of the best ways to get a rainbow sparkle was using a triangle-shaped piece of glass. It's called a prism. It was one scientist in particular who was very interested in this. His name was Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton wondered, was there a connection between the rainbow colors of a glass prism and the rainbows that we see in the sky? To figure this out, he bought a prism and came up with a science experiment. In a room, he covered his window like this to make the room really dark. Then he made a hole in the covering to let in a single beam of sunlight. When he placed his prism in front of the beam of sunlight, it did this. It created rainbow colors on the wall. Interesting, Newton thought. But how did it do that? Was the prism somehow creating those colors? That's what some people thought. But Newton wondered, could it be that sunlight itself is maybe a mixture or bundle of all the colors of the rainbow? If true, then maybe what the prism is doing, thought Newton, is it's separating white sunlight out into each color of the rainbow. But that seems unlikely, right? I mean, sunlight itself is white. If you had a bunch of different colors of paint and you mix those together, it doesn't make anything white. Look, you can see here it makes sort of a brownish color. But maybe light is different from paint, Newton thought. This is where Newton did something very clever. He took another second prism and he turned it the other way so that it would now combine all the rainbow colors of light shining onto it. When he combined all the colors of the rainbow, guess what he got? This, white light. So Newton proved the colors of the rainbow really do come from sunlight. But that still doesn't solve why a rainbow appears in the sky sometimes. I mean, it's not like there are prisms or pieces of glass floating around in the sky, right? Well, there aren't pieces of glass, but there are these. Water droplets. It's rain. Water droplets can do similar things as a prism, taking white sunlight and separating it out into all the colors it's made of. When we see sunlight shining on a bunch of water droplets, we see a rainbow. And it's not just raindrops either. Any drops of water in the air will do. You can find rainbows under waterfalls or even in the spray from sprinklers. Check it out next time you play with a hose. So in summary, Isaac Newton proved that white sunlight is actually a combination of all the colors of a rainbow. A rainbow is formed when white sunlight passes through water droplets in the sky, acting like prisms. That's all for this week's question. Thanks, Joseph, for asking it. Now, we have something special for this week's episode. My friends and I here at Mystery Science have created a step-by-step activity where you can experiment with sunlight and rainbow colors. You can find a link to the activity at the end of this video.
And I will send you that video through your Google Classroom. I'm going to try. I think I can do it because if I just click down here and I assign it to our Bible, I will assign that and then you can watch this video again and you can do the extension part to see if you can make a rainbow. It's really, really cool to do that. You see, God made the rainbow. And he made a rainbow when at the very early in the story in the book of Genesis, there's a story about a man named Noah. I bet you know that story. But did you know that before the story of Noah, that there had never been any rain? There had never been. But then at the very end of the story, we'll find out that God sent a rainbow to make a promise. And that is what we're going to study this week and next week is the story of Noah, the promise God made at the end of the story after we see the things that happened and the hurtful things that man did and how God had to punish sin. But God, in the end, sent something so beautiful that today we still enjoy a rainbow to show us a promise that He will protect us, love us, and to never cause a flood like that He caused to destroy the whole earth again. So that is going to be our lesson this week, the story of Noah. And so today we just did a little intro with the rainbow. Go ahead and watch that video again on your Classroom under that extension if you want to watch the video again, or you can just look at the extension part of it and see if you can make a rainbow. All right, I look forward to studying the story of Noah with you this week.